That's home for the next hour and a half. Just about to cast out. My prediction for the first fish is a small roach. Perhaps slightly larger than I thought for the first one, but nevertheless a roach, and it's still small. This is not bad for a second fish either. It is my target species. Although I'm happy to catch roach, and naturally fishing with a maggot you will do, but I always like to have something in mind when I go angling, and it's invariably perch. I'm doing well this morning. Fish every cast. Doesn't take long to get the roach in the swim and on the feed. I do have a guest book on my website, and Peter posted recently about how much time do I spend in the car when I go on short sessions, for example the lure ones, which are often 45 minutes or so. I do mention that from time to time in the written blog entry. Perhaps I haven't done on the videos much, but you need those local waters, don't you? That the less time you spend in the car, the more on the bank. That's the bottom line, isn't it? So if I fish for 45 minutes, it wouldn't be somewhere that takes half an hour to get there, because that would be counterproductive. We all have water close to where we live, I'm sure, even if it's not perhaps the place that we would choose to go. If time is tight, then it's better to fish those places than not fish at all. And talking of guest book, Dave posted in reference to my beans on toast and chili sauce inclusion in a video recently, and he thinks beans on toast with cheese is okay, or brown sauce is fine, but not chili sauce. And that reminds me, because Andy, and I haven't forgotten because I am going to do that very shortly, Andy asked the question a while back, what are your 5 favourite foods? Because I did a video, a blog entry on my 5 favourite fish, which actually was what Andy had requested. So I am going to do that very shortly, and beans on toast is the equivalent of perch as far as my food is concerned. So what are the other 4? Well, watch this space, as they say. This is really interesting because I've been returning small roach just down to the side of me there, and there's been a predator taking them, or at least trying to, very entrepreneurial, sitting there in the shallows. Anyway, I've been observing, and there's a big perch out there, and just joined it is a pike about the same size. So a small pike and a big perch, and I've just dropped my bait out there to see if I can tempt the perch in particular. That's what I'm after, of course. So let's see what happens here, shall we? This looks very interesting. I can see the fish in the shallows. It's one of the things, isn't it? Be quiet, watercraft. Don't shout, don't make noise. And just beneath your feet, even in 8 inches of water, you don't know what's going on, do you? That was very interesting because I saw a fish take the maggots. I put 2 on the hook. I lifted into it. It was a small carp, so a lot more down there than I thought. But unfortunately, I didn't connect with it properly, and it's now disappeared. So I'm going to get back to fishing 1 rod length out. The perch is back, and I've just been feeding maggots, and it's taking them. This is very interesting. I'm going to have another go in the shallows there to see if I can actually hook the perch. Looks a nice fish as well. They're not daft, are they, fish? They take the maggots without the hook and then leave the one that you want them to take. I'll tell you what though, watching fish in general is a great way of learning about their behaviour, how they respond, so that when you can see the fish, what they're doing, when you're on the water, which is most venues, and you can't see what's going on beneath the surface of the water, you know what's happening because you've observed them in clear water, shallow water, like I am right now. The perch has disappeared. I'm sure it'll be back though. I've just hooked into one of the perch in the margins. There's several. It's took me into some denser vegetation though. I need to try and tease this out if I can. I've got the fish out and a big pike has lunged at it. I think I'm going to net it though. Yes, there we go. I'll be back. It's all happening in the shallows. In the net, on the bank, and in front of the camera. It's lively, and it most certainly was when it was out there as well.